Hello world, once again. This time it's us. You've met us for the 2 previous days. Jerome Owaru, one of the main organizers of the Mind Mapping and Speed Reading Championship here in Zielona. So this time we're going to talk about maybe in some different way, because usually you're the one who is asking questions.
Yes.
So it's now time. Let's turn the table, and now I will be asking questions and you will be giving the answers. How about that?
Okay. I like it.
So let's start. Let's bring a little bit of context, because we know you're the organizer. You already ask people the question, but how your adventure with developing your body has started?
So regarding the mind and the brain, it didn't start with speed reading and mind mapping, really. It started during my studies because I was really curious and I wanted to find new ways to develop my professional network. So I created a blog at the time, interviewed lots of people, and I realized that by interviewing lots of entrepreneurs, that they developed lots of skills that were not technical, that they developed a lot of soft skills. And this is when my journey began, with a challenge from my teacher at the time saying, okay, now you're going to create a course that has never been taught before and you always wanted to have during your studies, and just do it for the next the next year. So I started teaching actually in business school this way, and then in the process I met Nicolas Disiac, who was doing speed reading. And I was like, oh, that sounds like really interesting. And I did something really different, but also not that different, because in soft skills, you also have that skills like concentration, efficiency, effectiveness, productivity. And for me, it was quite linked. Like there's an obvious link with speed reading. And we started by creating an event at the time. And then that's how I discovered speed reading through this time.
So how long ago? It was like 10 years ago?
I think the event that we did was actually in 2014.
So,
yes.
So it's 9 years.
Yes, already, yeah.
So you also, from what I understand, you're also a coach?
Yes.
You coach people?
Yes, I do. I would say my main job, because I have different activities, but I would say my main activity is public speaking. So I publish books and I talk about them mainly in France, about soft skills or how to train your brain. So that's my main job. I also coach people on their soft skills, but also about how to train your brain through speed reading and mind mapping. And yeah, that doesn't feel like a job, really.
It doesn't feel?
No, because it's so, I just love it so much. Just to share those tools and to see people transform themselves. That each time when I talk to someone, that I talked this morning actually with Sabrina. She followed one of our session just a month and a half ago, and she discovered a month and a half ago speed reading with us.
Oh.
And she was here today. She competed with her child. And she read the book in 45 minutes. So when I hear stories like this, I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. You're educating people. You said you're writing books.
Yes.
And here we have a book you wrote together with Nicolas.
Yes.
And it's a book about how to double your speed in 30 days.
That's
so
right.
Let's talk about this a little bit, because here we have book, which obviously people can buy, but also it's combined with the app, with the new app, the Neo Boost app, which you also would like to implement.
Yes. So actually, the story of this book is linked to this app that we've been launching. It's called Neo Boost app, which rely on a protocol of 30 days of training for speed reading, and it started with a coaching session, actually. So I was coaching a person who was working in high finance. So he was really challenged by his job because he had to read 90 pages of reports. And it was really technical because it was high finance and he had lots of pressure. And he really wanted to improve his reading speed, but he had two main obstacles. The first one, it was that he had difficulties focusing, ADHD, but also dyslexia. So it was really hard for him to naturally read. And the second challenge was time. He didn't have time. And the key for speed reading is training. You can't just learn the technique and that's it. You can speed read. You have to train your brain to read faster. So I was like, okay, so that's a challenge. Like, how do I coach a person and get results with those two main constraints? And by thinking out of the box, I was thinking that, okay, it's a sport. If I want to improve in sport, for running, for instance, it's not running for 5 hours once a month that I'm going to progress. It's probably running 10 minutes a day. That would be enough. Each time I can increase the intensity or increase the length of the run for these 10 minutes. I say, okay, if we apply this principle from running to speed reading, what would that be? And this is how we created the protocol for 30 days with just 15 minutes of training every day of speed reading. By increasing the intensity of the training, we can double the speed in 30 days. And Nicola loved the idea. I said, okay, but what if we go beyond that? Say, okay, okay, I know some PhDs through a common friend with François Chevigné, with who we work. And so, okay, let's talk to those PhDs in Morocco and see if they're interested by the project. That's how we talked to Mohamed Sibou and Fatih Lamrabet. And they say, yes, let's show to the world from a scientific proof that, yes, speed reading training can not only improve productivity in reading, but also improve concentration, memory, and cognitive flexibility. And yes, it worked actually. We did like 3 studies in Morocco and in France, and it turns out the results are very positive. And that's how we said, okay, we need to share this in a book. We made the book, and now the app.
Okay, but the book now is in French.
Yes.
So when can we expect the English version?
Oh my God, I've been talking to my publisher about this. I hope as soon as possible. No, seriously, yes, I really hope that we can translate it and diffuse it to the world, because we have like regularly messages of people saying they're surprised. They're really surprised at how it works. So yeah, I don't have a date yet, but hopefully soon.
Okay, I thought you were gonna give us some date and you're gonna hold your word to it. Okay, so what are the results? If someone wants to use, because NeoBoost is still new, it's not really, it was started like, I mean, not that the app was started, but it was introduced to the world like a week ago or during.
Yeah, it's been,
it's fresh, it's still fresh.
It's really fresh, yes.
Yes, so how can people come across this? Where can they find this app?
So so the app is already available on the Google Store, the Apple Store, and also we have a website that can find us quite easily. So for the moment, the French version is available, and we translated it in English, so it will be soon available in English-speaking countries also. So it's in process, and by the time you see the video, you probably came across the app already.
Let's check if it's gonna be this way.
Yes.
Okay. So and probably the app in English will be faster than the book, because it's a little bit easier to.
I think it depends. I think it's complementary. The app won't replace the book. I think it's
that's not what I mean. But to have the book in English might be a little bit more work than.
Oh yes,
just change the language in the app.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely come across in English through the app earlier than the book for sure. Yes.
Okay, because. What we wanted to talk also is the power of micro habits, because we behave in a certain way, we do things in a certain way, we learn in a certain way, and we can change it, but we need to be smart about it. So could you please talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so I came across this concept through 2 things. The first one was through this coaching session, because the idea of having 15 minutes a day is good, but how do you make it stick? It's not just, okay, I need to do it today when I have time. You have to make time. And the best way to do it is through habits. So that was the first thinking process. And then I read a very interesting book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he explained it really well, that the power of micro habits. And he said, yes, so when you want to develop not only a habit, but a intrinsic quality, if you want to change yourself, is not just through deciding you're going to change, is to implement a behavior that's going to be repeated over time. And to make this happen, you need to create a habit. But to create a habit, you have to make it small, simple enough so that it's easy to make it stick into your daily life. And I will take a few examples to illustrate what I want to say. So imagine you want to be athletic, not just lose weight, that you want to create that intrinsic quality of becoming athletic. So you will have to train every day. So, but instead of doing, okay, if it's not enough just to do 2 hours like on the Saturday, it's better to do 15 minutes every day. How do you make this happen? I have a habit. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just a habit. I like my coffee in the morning. I tend to, it is natural for me. It's a habit. So what I like to do is not just to create a habit from scratch, from nowhere, is I'm going to stick a habit, a new habit to an existing habit. So I like to use my coffee as an anchor to glue more habits around it. So if I want to become more athletic, I would say, okay, but before my coffee, I will put next to my coffee machine, I will put a weight, like a 2 kilos weight, just as a sticky reminder. Oh, wait, before the coffee, remember to exercise. And by doing so, I will just create the new habit. And for reading is the same. So this is how I did also to prepare for the championship 2018 is not just talk to myself, oh, you have to train today. So, okay, no, I know I have my coffee at 6 o'clock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my book next to the coffee machine, and I can't drink my coffee before I read for 10 minutes that book. And I think that's the best strategy to create new habits.
This sounds amazing to me because I also have a habit to drink coffee in the morning. It's like I like to check. I don't play basketball, but I love to check NBA results. So my habit is to sit in front of a computer, have my coffee ready, and then I check the results. But I really like it because we need to be smart. There's also another book. You talk about the atomic habits, but there's also compound effect.
Yes.
Probably same idea that whether we do something good or something bad with our body or with our life, it's a sum of really small steps along the way. If we eat 1 cookie a day, it's not bad when you say it's only 1 cookie, but it's like 365 cookies a year.
Yes.
And you can also change it in a good way. Like, okay, I can exercise. I cannot exercise for 2 hours a day, but maybe I can exercise for 10 minutes a day. And each day, maybe you can increase it a little bit. So just by taking small steps, it doesn't have to be, unless we're in a bad situation, but unless it doesn't have to be like a drastic change, just by using small steps and with the compound effect, with the atomic habits, we can just move forward and we can develop. Still, because actually this situation we are here, the championship, it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Tony Buzan. And you had your chance to meet Tony Buzan. Do you remember the place and time when you first in person met Tony Buzan?
Yes, I remember very well. It was in August 2018, and it was at Eurostar in London. Because we had the opportunity, we were privileged to have him as a speaker for a talk in Paris at that time, and also to do the kickoff of the national championship there. And my first task was to go with him, because I live also in London, to go with him from London to Paris. So my first encounter with him was at Eurostar. And what I remember is, he was like super joyful, super curious also. And also I remember all his suitcases, because I had 1 suitcase, but he had 3 luggages. And obviously I was younger than him, so it was natural for me that I would help him with his luggages. And it was hard. It was an actual workout. And to continue the anecdote, I met him again in London for a art exhibition. So he invited me for this exhibition. And when I arrived, he said, "Hey, Jerome." Oh, he gave me a hug, and then he talked to his other friend. Said, "Oh, it's Jerome, the guy from Paris. He's the guy who carried my suitcases." And it made me laugh because, wow, after all this, because in Paris, I did a talk with him. We did lots of different things, but that was the thing that he remembered from me, and it made me laugh.
Okay, so this was your first cooperation with Tony Buzan. You were taking care of his luggage, but was this moment, I mean, when you met him the second time, was it the moment you thought about cooperating, and there might be something in cooperating with Tony Buzan?
Actually, what happened is it was more like a challenge from Nicolas because in 2017 he went to China to participate to the World Speed Reading Championship to meet in person Tony Buzan, and but in 2018 I said, okay, now you go back and please bring the gold medal. I say, oh, actually, I can't this year. I'm stuck. You will have to go. You will have to represent. So, oh my God, I'm not the speed reading guy. I'm not the mind mapping guy. I'm the soft skills guy. I say, no, but okay, see as a challenge. Is next to Hong Kong. You can go. You will be in China. You see, it's gonna be fun. So okay, I took the challenge, and that's how I started to prepare myself for the World Speed Reading and Mind Mapping Championship for 2018 in China. And this is when I also met Tony again over there.
We never know where the inspiration is going to come from, and I would just like to thank you because this is a great moment to say thank you while we're on live, because probably this is like the last time we are talking on streaming. But I would like to thank you for taking the challenge and being the part of preparing the championship here in Zielona Góra, because it's also amazing for us. And obviously we don't have a chance to ask Tony, because Tony's idea was to promote mental and brain literacy. And I was wondering if he ever thought when he was studying that maybe in some countries, like then communistic Poland, but now, of course, democratic, there will be championship held for the speed reading and mind mapping. Like his work will gonna spread so much. So thank you much for spreading the Tony's idea and being part of this championship here in Zielona Góra in Poland 2023. Thanks for amazing job, because he is one of the most hard-working men during this competition and the weeks and months before, and I think it's a good moment to say thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Dziękuję. And thank you for welcoming me here in Zielona Góra. It's an amazing experience, so it's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, and still we have some party today to celebrate, so
true.
Thank you, Jerome.